All right. Welcome to the Pinkbike podcast. I'm Mike Kasmer. I've got Brian Park
Hey,
here with
Pinkers!
me.
Welcome back to the Pinkbike podcast. I'm your guest, Mike Levy.
And there's someone else here too. Levy's here. Special guest appearance coming over from the gravel side back to his fat tire roots. And we're going to be talking about all the reasons that he was wrong over the years, all the ways he was wrong over the years. That's just here to shame Levy. That's the theme of this podcast, I think, maybe.
This does not sound like a fun podcast. Why am I here? I'm looking at a screen right now. Brian has a Google Doc prepared, and there's like 87 actionable items on it, like things that I've done wrong. And he's just going to go down the list for the next 2 hours, I feel like.
I do too. I think, and it's not just you too. I think he's just trying to find ways that we were wrong. But realistically, we were always right. So it's going to be a real short podcast. It's just going to be always we've been right.
We were just going to like cyberbully Levy into coming back on the pod more often.
Yeah, we can do that too.
You can't cyberbully. I just turn the computer off. There's no such thing.
No, so real, this was from OTB Too Much in a comment recently. Kaz, what was the name of the poll? It was like us trying to like, what were products that we regretted buying over the years? What the consumers regretted buying, and
we asked the readers. Yeah, we asked the readers what products they bought that they were sad that they bought, basically.
And somebody suggested, OTB Too Much suggested that we flip the script. What products do we regret promoting over the years? Which I think is a great question. You don't, because you said your reply is, my track record is pretty good, but I'm sure there are some items that didn't really end up being as good as I initially thought. I'll dig through the archives and see what I can find. So we're doing that now in podcast form so that you don't have to write an article.
Yeah, that's even better. Yeah, it'll save me time, maybe, but I don't know. But yeah, overall, we try to be pretty accurate with our recommendations, but we've got the hindsight is 2020. I think that's how they say it. And yeah, there are some things that we thought were cool, and then a few years later, like, I don't touch that ever. I never use that, or that didn't change the game the way that people thought. So yeah.
I think the plan is that we're going to eventually go through all of the Pinkbike awards.
Not all of them, just some of them.
Definitely not all of them. I am out.
Yeah. We got things to do today.
I don't.
Yeah, we can.
Well, yeah.
But I think there's also just some good, like, general things that we've been wrong about over the years that are fun to look at. Probably let's start with Mike Levy's love of short bikes.
He did love short bikes. The Ibis Ripley. He wrote a really long article about how he got mad. What year was that? 2016. So this is obviously a while ago. But when the Ripley changed from having a reach of 406 millimeters to 428 millimeters, that was the end of the world. That big, long 428 reach was too much.
I have a couple points to make here. Obviously, I don't like change too much. I think you guys know that I'm not so good with the change. But also, I think my opinion on like geometry, not that bike was good or bad, but like my overarching opinion on geometry, that I wanted a shorter, like looser bike. It's just like how I like a bike to ride. So when I see a bike coming that's going to be longer, and I mean, at the time I was completely wrong about thinking that these much longer, slacker bikes would be shittier climbers, because, you know, other things changed to help that. But that's sort of where my opinion comes from, is that I like being a little loose. You know, I don't need the traction. I don't care.
Yeah. And things came back around. I mean, it's kind of trendy now. For a while, it was trendy to say, I size up 3 bike sizes. I ride an XL and I'm 5'2". And that was trendy. Yeah. And now I feel like we're having kind of the reverse swing now, where people are saying they're sizing down and that long bikes are stupid. And yeah, so it all goes in circles. There's a right answer, which is mine usually, but I do think that
that was smooth, Kaz.
Yeah, but no, we've seen a little bit of a blowback where people are like, I'm sizing down because bikes got too big, and now everyone's trying to go back to a happy place, I think. So,
well, the current big thing is the like, oh, if my chainstays aren't 100 feet long, that's wrong.
Yeah, there's that.
So we'll see where people are at on chainstay length in 5 years.
I think I've gone like completely the opposite direction now. Like, I haven't been riding a lot of mountain bikes lately. I've just been mostly riding gravel bikes. But like, if I was to go buy a mountain bike now, you know, I'm looking for stability and predictability and and all of the things that come with a lower, longer bike.
Safety, Levy.
Yeah. Well, you like just more stability in general, I think. And then these bikes now are so good, you could do whatever the hell you want with them, almost like regardless of how long they are. So
I just want to read the quote from that 2016 article. The Orange OG. And keep in mind, he's talking about a bike with a 406 millimeter reach. The Orange OG is an absolute beast of a bike that can breeze past the tightest, rockiest, rootiest problems on ultra technical sections with ease. Breeze past.
I mean, he's talking about climbing, right? Like uphill, that bike was ridiculous.
Yeah, you have to picture like the climb. I remember taking both of those bikes out, and they were different color bikes, but they were basically the same except different sizes. And like the climbs that I was going up this thing or going up on that bike was like, like you have to like wheel pivot and hop into place and like then hump a big rock, and like it's literally 0 miles an hour. It's not like some dumb like flowy single track climb that gets, I mean, not dumb, but like not like some just climbing access
flowy
trail.
Single track climb.
No, no, I don't mean it like that. But I mean the climb itself is something like
the Mike Levy article about how berms are bad.
They are.
Yeah, I think I agree with some of those.
100%.
I love this.
I'm not wrong about that either. No way. Take your berms out of here. Get out of here.
I mean, that was the same year that RC wrote an op-ed about how bad zip ties are. So, and how everybody should just use wire instead. So this is like when I just started at Pinkbike. It's just like, oh my God.
Brian's like, how could I turn this ship around? These guys are idiots.
Yeah. I shot the photos for the 2013 Ripley review. Those are my pictures.
Oh, look at you. 2013.
Oh, that was up on in the Ridge in Bellingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I had the Fox Float CTD shock. And
yeah. Good times.
What did you say about the Fox Float CTD shock, guys, in 2013?
We did not like the fork was what the issue was in that era of CTD. Yeah, we called that out. They fixed it.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Other stuff we were wrong about, Kaz?
I mean, plus tires. I believe he's the only one that actually did a plus tire bike review, I think.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, to be fair, we were experimenting. It's an experimental time because I think there's a couple of fat bike reviews that came up too. And you did I think you liked the fat bike more than the plus bike though. What was that? The Fargo? Is that what it was? The Salsa Fargo?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. I think both of those bikes, I enjoyed riding them just because they were so weird at the time. Like that plus tired Specialized thing, I remember just having kind of fun on it, but I don't think it really performed as well. That's for sure. Those are all gone. Like nobody runs those tires anymore.
It was an absolute fever dream of a time in the industry. Like I think the whole industry thought that it would be it was partially because everybody thought it would be a great way to make 27.5 or 29 chassis fit 27.5 and vice versa, because nobody knew what was happening. But it really did seem like it was going to be a thing, and then it really wasn't. I worked for my previous employer. Somebody at that company said the words like, the only way forward for bicycles is plus tires. Our future is plus tire only. That was a quote that was said at the bike company that I worked for.
I think it was just everybody was afraid of missing out because 29ers had happened and some companies were like slow to get on the 29er bandwagon. And then when these came out, they're like, best of both worlds, game changer, all of the marketing cliches. And
you can probably kill a quiver with it.
You probably could. Yeah, I'm positive that was mentioned multiple times in these things. But they did work. Like you had a wider footprint so you get more traction, but then all the tires that they made for them the casings were too thin so that they ripped.
Do you think they could come back? Somehow it returns?
I mean, I don't see it happening. Wouldn't say never, but I don't know why. Like what you would gain. I think we're like 2.5s seem like they work pretty well for most people, most places in the world. 2.5, 2.4. So I don't think you have to go wider. And especially now with like radial tires.
My question is only slightly kind of related to this. I remember, Brian, you guys talking about 32-inch wheels all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Are they coming now?
Oh, yeah.
Is that were you right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Okay.
the smugness makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't really.
Could it be the same as these plus tires though? Like the reason I bring that up is could they go that direction? Like it's coming, it's a big thing, people are getting excited, everybody tall is super happy, and then guess what? This sucks.
Yeah, I do think that's a risk, especially right now where companies are just trying to figure out how to stay in business. So if they put all their eggs in the 32-inch basket or too many eggs in that basket, then they don't hatch and the rooster attacks them or something. It's not going to work. So yeah, I don't know. I want to try one, and we will have chances soon-ish to try them. And even I think we have someone trying one in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I don't know. Bikes work really well now. So shaking everything up just for the sake of marginal gains, potentially, I don't know. But if it works,
it's not marginal gains, Kaz. It's new bike sales. New bike sales.
Yeah, your old bike is out of date.
Yeah.
So Kaz, though, like, do you not think? Because I feel like you were probably saying fairly similar things about bikes in the like short geo era, 2014, 15, 16. Like, oh, bikes are pretty good right now. Going to a shocking 430 millimeter reach on a size medium is like, that's too far. Like there's a risk.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to try new things. Like I'm not like fully dismissing. I haven't ridden one, so I can't really say. And the people that I do know that have ridden them have good things to say. So like I'm curious to try. It's just I think it ends up being more of a marketing issue than anything when the companies can't resist marketing as you need to buy this thing, you need something else. You're not having enough fun without our product. Like that just always rubs me the wrong way because right now bikes legitimately, and they've been good for years and years. I mean, I don't know. I've always had fun on all the bikes, no matter what year it is. But like right now, the last 6 years or so, you could get a bike that's 6 years old and it's still totally fine. Like contemporary numbers, even for this, prepping for this podcast, I pulled up we did a Pinkbike editors pick their ideal geometry numbers. So that was 6 years ago we did that. And like looking at the numbers that we all picked, none of them are super far off, and it kind of shows
even mine.
Yeah, they're not too far. You kind of described. Let's see, yours was 120 front, 120 rear travel. You said 66.5 head angle, 77 seat angle, 430 chainstays. Like that's a modern cross country bike.
460
maybe a little
reach for size large.
Yeah, you're only like that's basically
short.
a Yeti. It's a Yeti ASR. You're 5 mil shorter on the reach, but that's a Yeti ASR with a slightly steeper C-tube angle.
It's a specialized epic.
Half degree. Within 10 or like half degree and 10 millimeters. It's very close to a modern cross country bike.
Speaking of feeling smug,
yeah, exactly. And then
Levy's gonna ride this high all day.
Yeah, and this is 6 years ago, and we kind of predicted the numbers because at this time we were sort of feeling what worked for us, and I think that things have normalized, or just
Kaz,
there are limits. I think.
How's yours? You were 130 rear, 150 front, 64.5 head tube angle, 77 degree seat tube angle, 440 chainstay, 470 reach.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a tall boy or a 5010 or something. Because the 5010 has mixed wheels now. So I said full 29 for this bike, my ideal bike at the time. But like, yeah, if bike rolled in right now for testing that had those numbers, it would still be like pretty contemporary.
Do you think you would go with that travel offset front and rear?
Yeah, I don't mind a 130, 150 bike. Yeah.
Weird.
But I might go a little longer chainstays. Like I've been riding the Yeti MTE, but that thing has, and other bikes too. I mean, the Raw that I rode for a while, that one doesn't have a motor, but 450-ish chainstays, you can make them feel pretty good with a taller stack and a good, doesn't have to be a crazy slack head angle. So I think the thing's kind of moderated. We started going real slack, and it turns out with a really slack head angle, it can feel pretty strange, but you can make the rest of the bike longer without the front wheel 10 miles in front of you. So, yeah.
Weird.
What did you say, Brian?
My numbers are a bit conservative, I think. I went one.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say, you wanted full 29-inch wheels, 150 rear travel, 160 front with a 64.5 head angle, and then 435 chainstays. Would you still go 29-inch wheels these days, front and rear?
No.
Or would you go mixed?
No, for 150, 160 bike, I'd go mixed wheel.
32?
I'm short. I'm like 5'7" if I stand up really straight. Tinder 5'7", Tinder 5'8", let's go. But I think I went 440 reach. I'd probably go a little longer on reach. I'd probably go a little longer on chainstay. Definitely smaller rear wheel.
Yeah, it's kind of the only thing that stands out of these ones, because at the time, 6 years ago, mixed wheels they were around obviously, but they weren't as common. And now it kind of seems like most bikes over that 150, 160 at least have a mixed wheel option. And then we can't neglect that Paul Aston was on this list of geometry numbers, and his are probably ideal for him. Paul's always been one to push the boundaries, and back in 2019, he wanted a full 29er with 180 mils travel front and rear, 63.5 head angle, which I think he'd probably think that was too steep these days. He wanted an 82 degree seat tube angle, 470 chain stays, and a 500 reach, and a 44 mil fork offset. So
stable, baby.
I'm pretty sure. I know he's made that bike, and I think he made it even slacker. So Paul's still doing experimenting. I don't think that his bikes are for everybody, but for where he likes to ride and the way he rides, he's created what he thinks is the ideal bike, which is cool.
I will say that the poll on that article was quite wild. The number of people saying what their ideal geo, like what would it most closely match, and Paul won that, which is crazy.
I know, he took me in the end. Yeah, I got second place in that. But I mean, to be fair, if you were going to try, I guess, I don't know if I would pick these numbers, but out of all the bikes listed that I'd like to try, I would like to try that bike. Like I haven't been on a bike with 470 chainstays ever, I don't believe. I think even the longest, like 460 something is probably the longest I've tried. So I'd like to try a 470, like the 470 reach, 470 chainstay thing that people think is magical. I'd like to try it. I don't believe it's magic, but try
it's interesting.
1-to-1.
Yeah, exactly. Just the whole thing is you just have to pick imaginary algorithms or formulas, and then you can convince yourself that it's right. Like the thing that your stem length has to match your fork offset. The idea that has any reasoning, because Minar said it one time, but there's people that just believe that so wholeheartedly. Like, I need my stem to match my offset, and you're like, well, you can, and it probably works pretty good, but that's not actually like.
Do they forget about there. Like bar roll or whatever?
Yeah, no, don't bring that into the equation. You just need to keep things. Same numbers are good. So
well. One of the first drafts of the Grim Donut geometry was going to have PBG trademark, perfectly balanced geometry, which was the chainstay length had to match the reach, and the seat tube angle was going to be 90 degrees. So the bike could just be divided.
Yeah, triangles.
Yeah, it just had.
Speaking of things we were wrong about.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It was perfect. It was the future.
Yeah, right.
We should probably before we get into the awards, there's probably two big ones to go over. I think e-bikes is kind of I don't know, a boring one to be wrong about. But I'd say it's significant.
Yeah, Kaz and I were really adamant all those years ago. Like, I remember having a discussion with Kaz and saying that we wouldn't ride or write about e-bikes ever.
Did you guys try and give Carl an ultimatum?
We tried, yeah. I mean, we never were like, yeah. Just because, I mean, at that time too, those ones sucked a lot. Like, not that I don't want to be the defender of e-bikes, because I'm still,
Mike Kazimir, defender of e-bikes.
No, because if they went away tomorrow, I wouldn't care. I'd be totally happy without e-bikes, so I don't want to like prop them up. But I will say that modern e-bikes are pretty fun. You can have a good time. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. I do enjoy riding them when I go out on them. So we've been getting comments lately of people how we're not true e-bikers. If we can actually review them, we have to only ride e-bikes solely. I'm like, I'm not gonna like. It's okay to ride different things.
Nailed it.
I'm not a true e-biker. I apologize, but yeah, I mean, 8 years ago, maybe when Carl, the former owner of Pinkbike, was really saying he was convinced that e-bikes were going to be all that we would cover. Like, mountain bikes were going to disappear, which in some places of the world they kind of have. I know places in Europe that's all people ride, but luckily
people reference that there's a study in Germany last year, so 2024. It looks like something like 94% of high-end mountain bikes that were sold were e-mountain bikes. 94%.
That's because everybody else already had Nikolais and they don't wear out. And they didn't.
I think it was a lot of Nikolai e-mountain bikes.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're here, so yeah, they're getting better and things, but it's still nice to not have batteries. And I don't know, we'll get into it.
That was a silly take, though. That was just. I feel like that was a super silly take that came more from like ego for myself than anything else. Like, you thinking that someone can't use a motor to do something is silly, to be honest. Like, people should do whatever the heck they want. But I feel like back then it was like I think we felt threatened, or I don't know.
Yeah, it just wasn't it is a bit, it's ego, or like we spent so many years struggling without a motor to have it kind of taken away. And like, look, we made these other toys that work better. Your current toys aren't as good as these, or you have to ride this new toy that you don't like. It's hard to. It's deeper than that, but it's a lot. It's changed. Change is hard, and that was like one of those things we didn't really like this where that direction was going, and the idea that all we'd worked on before could potentially be irrelevant. Like it doesn't matter anymore. There's new things.
Yeah, it is deeper than that though. Like it sounds silly to say, but like there's some like soul to riding. Do you know what I mean? Like riding matters, a lot. And the idea of like injecting a motor into it at the time like felt super threatening to me in a way. But like nowadays, like you should, like ride your dirt bike on the trail and smoke crack for all I care. Like I don't care. You know what I mean? Like they should go do it. Yeah. But it's once you forget about what other people are doing, just do your own thing. Like you can use a motor. It's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I know I have a friend around here that he hates e-bikes so much, and he's always posting his Strava up just saying, "Oh, stupid e-bikes." And you're like, when I rode the other day though, I was on a regular bike. I didn't hardly see it. You just have to go to the right places. Like if you're going to the most popular section of the most popular mountain, you're going to see a lot of e-bikes. That's what is popular. But it's pretty easy to avoid crowds, and who cares? Like they're just bikes. They're outside having fun. Way rather
that's the thing,
than
dude.
Driving around, like,
yeah. If they're out there like having fun, there's like they're putting positive vibes out there, and your buddy is putting negative vibes.
Yeah, exactly. It's not worth battling that. There's plenty of other people to fight in the world. Then.
So, Levy, how do you feel about e-gravel bikes?
I don't give a shit what anybody does. You should ride your e-gravel bike as long as you do big fat skids. I don't care.
On plus tires.
Yeah, on plus tires.
All right. Well, let's wrap up this portion of the podcast with our favorite subject, linkage forks. Mike Levy.
Mike Trust.
Levy.
Never been wrong.
Never ever
Still
been
I'm
wrong. I love it.
I ain't ever been wrong about linkage forks, boys. I have. BRB.
Go grab it.
There were two. What was the short? There's a message, and then what was the other one? The shout.
Yeah,
right.
The shout. So this is the message. So there's a handful of bike stuff I've wished I kept over the years and didn't, but this is the number one item that I don't think I will ever part with. I love this thing. It had some shortcomings, everybody, but I think that I still think all the same things that I used to think about linkage forks. If everybody else would just get their shit together and make them better, we would be better as a society.
Mike Levy, I think that might technically be the outside property over there. I'll come and pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah. She might be. Don't tell Robin.
He's coming.
Yeah, fuck.
Okay, let's look at what you wrote about the trust the message fork. You wrote dramatically improves your bike's handling. Stand by that?
Yes, I would probably. I wouldn't use it here because it's too rough here, and the fork isn't good at absorbing bumps.
Yeah, that's my issue. I tested the shout.
Just wait. Let me get this all the way out. Handling and geometry is more important, but here in Squamish, it's very rough. It could be fast, and there's a lot of like square edge things and slappers and like smash it into the bottom of your travel at the bottom of a rock roll, things like that. And a fork, I never knew if it was the damper or the wheel path, but it's really bad on high speed compressions. Like my hands hurt kind of bad. So if I lived in Kamloops where I'm going 3 times as fast on smoother trails, yeah, I would probably use that on like 100. Imagine this fork on an Epic, a specialized Epic. Dude, it's so good.
Yeah,
except absorbing bumps.
Absorbing bumps. Yeah, that's why because I reviewed, and I think it does work better in the shorter travel one. Like what was this one? 120 mils, 130?
130?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, 130.
Yeah, 130.
Yeah, 130. So I reviewed the Trust Shout fork, which was 178 millimeters of contour travel or whatever they called it, and that thing sucked. I mean, it's just because it didn't absorb bumps. So if you went into a landing with your front wheel high at all, when it slapped down, it would just feel like there was no travel. If you hit bumps head on, it was nice. Like it definitely had that kind of almost like that high pivot feel where just the wheel gets out of the way.
Yep.
It was kind of funny at the time because the marketing people from Trust said that, what'd they say? I've got this here. It said, sure, you may feel sensations you've never felt before, but that's performance at work.
Man, my
And those
hands hurt.
sensations, I was like, I can't hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did that trust message review, I think, is one of the coolest things I did at PB. Jason? Yeah, it was Jason. We went out and did this like back and forth thing with the Fox 34. And like when you swap them back and forth like that on the same section of trail, the difference is night and day in like really good ways, but also incredibly bad ways. In like, did you guys not test this? Like, it's really bad at this one specific thing.
And that thing is what suspension is mostly supposed to do.
Yeah, the suspending part.
Suspending part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it could be with a better damper. I mean, like the damper held it back, and then I think maybe that wheel path itself. But there are ways to tweak those. It's not a, I don't think it's a dead end, but I'd be surprised. It seems like everybody's going for upside down forks now, which I'm not really convinced by those either. But we keep going in circles for this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Kaz, you wrote for the big four. You wrote not the most comfortable ride feel.
Yeah, it's true. It's not the most comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean,
in fact, it's the least comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, there's moments where it was comfortable, and then the next moment it would not be comfortable. So,
Kaz, did you ever ride the message?
No, I never rode the short one. No, just the longer travel one.
Okay, so but the longer one did the same shit with the increasing trail.
Yeah. I think
could you remember like going through a bunch of corners in sequence, especially say they didn't have berms or were rough corners or something like that? Do you remember the handling difference between a normal fork and that fork?
Yeah, let's see. I could read. I'm trying to think before I read my words. I do remember it being different. Like I felt stiffer, and not just because of the spring itself. Yeah, like it wasn't. It's a neutral. Like doesn't affect the bike's geometry as much. That's kind of cool. It takes time to get used to, also, especially with the longer travel one. But I think a lot of people do want their bike to kind of stay higher and that elusive mid-stroke support that everybody likes to talk about. But having a bike that doesn't shift geometry dramatically while you're riding is pretty good.
One fork almost bottoms out when I'm braking, and the other one keeps a consistent head angle. And I'm going to go way faster or be in more control, maybe, or whatever it is. It's like if they could have made that message more deal with high speed impacts better, like it would have been the best fork ever. 100%. Yeah, I stand by that one.
I love it.
And I also like the structure. Do you remember the structure?
Yeah, that bike almost killed you though. Remember that rock
bike
roll?
did almost kill me.
Yeah.
That put me out for a while. I was broken. Who saw that? Ken Paris was there. He saw me almost die.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, and it sounded scary because you grabbed too much for the braking wasn't predictable. So you grab brake and just wash the front.
You were also wearing little clip-clop shoes and
Yeah, it was 80% my fault. I grabbed a handful of front brake. It had Magura Gustavs on it, but the bike didn't, like, it did something weird when it didn't handle like I was expecting it to, which is the opposite of what I want from a linkage fork.
Sorry, right now we're talking not about the trust fork. We're talking about the structure bike that has a linkage front end as well and is exceptionally strange.
Exceptionally strange, and it handled exceptionally well. But again, it had some weird traits.
Kaz, did you ever ride it?
I never did. I would ride it. It looks so bad though.
It does.
It looks
unique.
You're not supposed to judge books by their cover, but this one looks horrible.
What's really interesting about it is that somebody has definitely sunk a lot of money into it. Like they had molds made because everything is all done. And man, I love that people try stuff like this, but I hate to think how much money they lost on this.
Yeah. But you can use your rear shock as your front, and your front suspension is the same. It uses the same shock for both. So there you
go. You think about how much you can save by optimizing your bill of materials. Just double your your volume of shock orders.
Yeah. But I mean, I like all this stuff though too. Like it's easy to talk shit on it because it does look weird, and a lot of times they don't work well. But it'd be really, our jobs would be very boring if everyone's just making plain old horse link bikes and not even trying anything different.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
plain old horse link bikes tend to work the best.
Let's get into the awards. We'll skip over the old ones real quick because it's, I don't know, hindsight gets clearer and clearer the further away you get. But you had the awards started, I think, officially in 2013, but before that, you had some sort of like editor's choice stuff. So let's start with 2012. Favorite new product, E13 LG1 Plus pedal, Mike Levy. That was you. Good choice,
That's a
bad
platform
choice.
pedal.
Give yourself a grade, like 1 to 10 or something.
Is that Kaz? Is that one with all those interchangeable pieces on it?
Yeah, it's a kind of plastic body, and then the different.
Yeah, I feel like a pedal is pretty inconsequential. So, like for favorite new product, it sounds like I was struggling to find a favorite new product.
Yeah. Best innovation, Mike Casimir, in 2012, clutch derailleurs.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty nice. I mean,
that's a 10 out of 10.
Crazy.
That's a 10 out of 10.
A plus.
Yeah. Shimano should have listened to that. Their new derailleurs don't have a clutch. I knew it. They need clutches. I know.
Are you? Yeah, that's an interesting one. There has to be. Yeah.
There's a better way. There's a way. Someone's going to make something in the next few years where the derailleur is just quiet and somehow doesn't slap. Like just like I don't even know. I guess O-Chain kind of fixes it, but something that can be in the derailleur that deals with a chain slap in a cool way. I'd like to see that.
All right, 2012. Top best trail bike. RC said Santa Cruz Tallboy LTC.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers, but I bet it was pretty good back then.
Levy anticipated the Specialized Demo 8 Carbon.
Downhiller Levy.
Levy.
I mean, that's probably one of the most anticipated bikes right now too. In 2026, coming up, the Carbon Demo is going to be good.
They've been cooking up that thing for a long time, eh?
I know, it's been so many iterations. Yeah.
Brad Walton, your predecessor, anticipated the mass-produced gearbox back in 2012.
Still working on it. It's getting closer, kind of, but not really. I mean, like
gearboxes ain't never gonna happen. Go away.
No, they're not.
Man, I think you guys will be wrong about that too. But
in what year? What decade?
Yeah, what year?
Should we let's revisit this in 10 years. This is a good one.
Okay.
But you're right. I mean, this is 2012. It's more than a decade ago, and obviously lots of smart people have been working on gearboxes for a very long time, and they still aren't there for, let's call it like mass mountain bike, like the meat of the market.
Yeah. Like they exist for downhill this year because money's getting dumped in and you can make them work for downhill. And they exist kind of for some e-bikes and kind of for some pedal bikes. Like Dario has a bike now with a gearbox, but they're just not compared to getting derailleur, like the simplicity of a derailleur, even though a gearbox obviously there's nothing to knock off. Like you're not going to rip your derailleur off, but they just don't work as well. And they're a lot more complicated.
No, they suck.
I'd just say this. I would love for gearboxes to be good, but I agree with you guys that they're not right now. I would love for them to be good. Most anticipated product, RC, the Specialized P Slope.
RC was ready for it. Wasn't that the year he was going to do a backflip at Sea Otter?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember there's an airbag one time and they were deflating the airbag. But RC was all about, he was going to do a backflip, but he didn't get to because they deflated the airbag.
I'm glad he didn't.
I know, he could have though. If anyone could just learn to backflip right away, it would have been RC.
RC, the number of things that just, surprised me about RC every time.
Yeah.
He could do it. He could have landed a backflip. 2012, he would have been like 55 or 58.
Yeah, it doesn't matter his age. He'd be fine. He could do it.
Do you think he could do it today?
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a while. Hopefully. I hope he's out there learning how to backflip.
He's probably flipping right now, to be honest. Okay, moving on. 2013, DH Bike of the Year, GT Fury.
Didn't all of those get recalled?
No, those are the more recent ones.
It was a few. The later one. Yeah, this one was good. Remember, this was the one the Athertons were doing well on.
They won every race that year.
Yeah, we rode this in the bike park. It was fun. It was the first kind of longer downhill bike.
So, give yourself a grade. You happy with that one? A? Trail Bike of the Year, 2013. Oh, sorry. I don't know how to make links. It was Specialized Enduro.
Yeah.
29.
That was good too back then.
Can I just point out that an enduro bike got Trail Bike of the Year?
It was called the Enduro, but the things hadn't really figured themselves out yet. And I think that category eventually just became Bike of the Year. Was it this is before my time. Was this like controversial that a 29er was your Bike of the Year? in 2013?
I don't remember the comments, but I think that was the 29er that everybody
That
wanted
convinced.
that year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was good. That was a good one. I think we had the fancy one too.
Hmm.
We tested it in Sedona, maybe, probably.
Kaz,
Yeah.
you gave component of the year to SRAM XD driver.
Well, I guess because that was letting us have 1x12.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fair.
So, yeah. It's
And
kind of a silly component, but I mean, in an ideal world, everybody would have gotten along by now and have only one driver body, because it's still crazy that I have to switch driver bodies on expensive wheels to run a Shimano cassette or SRAM. Like, I get it because they're competitors and stuff, but still, it'd be nice if they could have made it all one.
which one would you go for if there were no downstream consequences?
Probably SRAM, because I feel like I'm less likely to strip out the little lock ring on a SRAM cassette compared to a Shimano cassette. The Shimano one it only bites in a few threads, and might have stripped them out in the past before accidentally. I don't have to pay as much attention when I'm installing a.
The SRAM ones just always feel like I'm cross-threading it, but then I'm not.
Yeah.
You
It's
wrote
that tight spline fit.
2013 most improved brand was Kona.
Yeah,
I
that was
like
like
that
when
one.
Mandel was there, and they came out with the process bikes.
Is that the
We all loved
111?
that. Yeah, it's right around then.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was their turnaround, basically. Kind of brought them back until they went away and then came back.
It's the bike industry. Nothing ever dies.
Yeah.
2014 trail/all mountain bike of the year, Santa Cruz Nomad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to keep agreeing with you. I picked that when I rode this. Yeah, pretty sure I rode that thing in Chile. It had some super stiff Envy wheels, some maybe bars that might have snapped during the press camp on some other people, but not me.
What?
Yeah, it was really sharp and rocky in Santiago in Chile, and I think they had the early Race Face 6C bars, and those didn't do well when they got crashed into rocks, it turned out.
Yeah.
I don't know if any carbon bar would have, but just the fact that a couple of them broke during that press camp was concerning.
Was there a picture of a broken rim? Scroll back up. I just saw a picture of a broken wheel.
I might have broken the wheels too.
I think you broke the Envy wheel. Down.
Yeah, go down to the bottom. Probably.
I don't think.
Yeah, I seen it right
there.
Yeah,
right there. Yeah. So this was the
productive
bad
press
era.
camp.
Well, no, I had the bike at home. I think I broke them at home. But yeah, this was the era when Envy wasn't as good. I think these days most companies, it seems like broken carbon wheels from normal usage are so much less common these days than they used to be. Like, this is when wheels were super stiff, and I don't think the layups were figured out. So yeah. So yeah, I'd still stand by that bike as bike of the year for that year. That was a good long travel, pretty light. You should click up back on and see how much it weighed, because I feel like it's going to be 10 pounds lighter than anything we're riding now.
What's wrong with bikes now? How come they're all so
28
heavy?
pounds for 165 mils of travel. See, when I say bikes should be lighter, it's because we used to have bikes like this, and it had a dropper post and had smaller wheels, but still, like, bigger wheels don't add 10 pounds.
What happened?
Yeah.
I've been gone for like 3 years, and bikes gained 10 pounds.
20, because that bike is 38 pounds probably this year.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a 10-pound difference.
They decided in-frame storage and making bikes look like e-bikes was priority, and now everything got bigger, and they don't break as much though, so they're probably less broken things to talk about, but still I want them to be lighter again.
Yeah, just hold on. I like how we were just talking about all these things that broke at the press camp, and now we're like, we also want them to still be 28 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think in 10 years of 10 years of development, we could expect them to have gotten stronger or lighter.
Yeah, maybe both. They got space age materials now.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could.
I mean, look at the price of this thing though. This thing was $10,000 back in 2014. That'd be like $40,000 now. Like, if you do inflation, like, that's a lot of money.
I have a theory about this whole weight increase thing. I think, well, it's not a theory. I think it's what it is. These brands every year, like, it's like a competition to see who can make their bikes more capable, which it should be, like, every single year. And, you know, every bike has like 20 mils more travel than it used to have, or a fork where the travel used to be balanced or close to balance, and now it's 20 mils more up front. And as soon as you start doing that, then you have to start doing things like, 4-piston brakes and like 4-ply tires and all these other things. I mean, 4-piston brakes are good, but
Yeah.
that's another thing I was wrong about. We'll probably talk about
yeah,
that.
that's true. Yeah,
Well,
But basically, the more capable these things get, the heavier they're going to get. And everybody wants to make like so-called trail bikes that can be ridden like enduro bikes now. And that's why they all weigh 35 pounds. Like they don't need to be able to send it.
yeah. It's
too
less
overbuilt.
warranty claims, I guess. If you make it, you might as well overbuild something and then not need to deal with all the people that decide to ride their trail bikes down A line or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree though. So yeah, I think those picks that year were pretty good. That was a good year.
You for suspension product of the year in 2014, you said the Fox 36 Fit RC2.
Yeah.
I didn't
That
like
was
that
a
Fit
good damper.
cartridge. Was it a good damper? You liked it?
Not Fit 4, Fit RC2.
Oh, okay. I might be confused.
Fit 4 is not good.
Yeah, Fit 4 is
RC2
not. That's what I'm thinking.
predecessor to the Grip 2, whatever. Yeah, for the time, worked fine.
Sweet. 2015 Trek Remedy Bike of the Year.
That was a good
29er.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Click on
That was
one.
big silver bike, wasn't it? The aluminum
Yeah,
29er?
No, this was a carbon one, I think. Remember that one?
Oh, yes. Yep. That was a
That
sick
was
bike
so
too.
good. I still have KOMs
Yeah.
from that thing. That was because that thing that weighed nothing. Also, right? Like 140
These were
mils of
trail
travel.
bikes. Yeah.
Yeah, one.
Like you could just pick them up and put them where you want. You know, they're so
Uh-huh.
light and flicky and
It was
sketchy.
great.
So good.
This is the old man podcast. I remember
Yeah.
when the bikes were light and magical, and
Uh,
yeah,
Find the actual review here.
Yeah.
25.8 pounds.
yeah, and it was 140 mils of travel.
oh,
Yep.
man.
Yeah, that's nice. That thing was so fast.
This is definitely the old man podcast.
Yeah, but
And,
people,
and there's like
do you
100 very angry men in sheds in the UK furiously writing comments about how weight doesn't matter.
I know.
do you guys think that mountain bike media bears some of the responsibility for these bikes getting so fat and heavy? And because like when a company sends a bike to be reviewed, a lot of times we want to like not push the limit, not test the bike out of what it was meant to be, how it was meant to be ridden, but we want to ride the bike as hard as possible. Do you know what I mean? So from a company point of view, they want to send us like the most capable bike.
Yeah, but like I rode the hell out of this bike on hard trails. Even like the Geo doesn't really quite hold up as well, but it didn't break.
Yeah.
I think people naturally talk about the parts of the ride they enjoy the most, and especially if you're comparing things back to back, I think that it's to feel like you're getting held back on the descents or on the sketchy parts is a worse feeling and translates to worse press versus a half a pound here and there.
Yeah, and I do want to have a bike that I can send it on and do stupid things. And even like that, we were talking before the podcast about the new Norco Revolver. Like that bike is an XC bike at its core, and it's a 120 or 120, 130 bike. But in the press camp, we were riding pretty techie trails outside of Whistler, with Menard, kind of riding rock rolls and chunky things on an XC bike. So, which is cool. And that bike is pretty light once you.
That bike is
light
really
parts
light
on it.
because they don't have in-frame storage. They don't have a ton of weird tube shapes. They just have simple suspension. Like I like that seems like a good weight compromise for me where they've made it strong as hell, and I think they have, and deleted things that didn't or that added the weight.
Yeah, like in-frame storage is clever, but I don't think it's necessary.
On that bike,
But-
no. I think that
I don't think you
storage
need,
is
but
nice on some things,
Specialized,
but
but Specialized did it with the Epic, and that bike's just as light. So
Yeah.
I think there's a way to do it.
I think that I had one of those Epics, and I think it was potentially too like that. It is so light. It's scary light.
It's supposed to be
I know, but I
for
like
World
to
Cup
me,
racing.
I'm not sure that it should have had in-frame storage either. You're gonna
I mean,
like
if you can
stop
make it
in the
scary
middle. Of your,
light with in-frame storage. It's perfect.
anyway,
People aren't. If let's say they sell 5, or they sell way more than that, but let's just say they sell 100 of these bikes. 20 people are doing competitive racing on it, and the other 80 are like just ripping on their local trails. So it should have in-frame storage.
Yeah.
That's my take.
my take is even dumber, and that's that the in-frame storage makes the Specialized Epic down tube look bad, so it shouldn't have in-frame storage. It's a weird, ugly
I think it looks,
squircle.
that's a good looking bike. I think.
I think it looks great until you look in person at the down tube, and Yeah, it's a good looking bike though.
Look forward.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. All right, moving on. We're to, what was that? 2014, 2015 was Track Remedy. Right. There we go. Component of the year 2015, Shimano XTR Di2.
Mm-hmm.
Was that?
I stand by that.
You like that one?
Yeah. That was the only.
I think I tested it, possibly. Maybe with Vernon.
Yeah, you and Vernon had
Yeah,
it.
and the reason that I liked it so much is, I mean, it's Di2, so it's like crazy consistent, and it didn't matter, and it had it's Shimano shifting, and yeah, that was good.
Nice.
Yeah, there wasn't anything. There was no other electronic competitor out there at the time. Like that was it for.
Yeah.
Like Axis didn't exist yet.
The top comment is, "I'd rather buy a fat bike."
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy expensive. Like it was very expensive.
And also, it maybe not should have got that award because the battery situation with Di2 was absolute bullshit.
Oh yeah, remember
and
it
unacceptable.
Yeah, it was housed inside the top tube, and
yeah, it was in my down tube, and it came loose, and the cable came out, and it slid down and hit my bottom bracket when I was on a ride. And to get it hooked back up again, I had to take my fork out.
I just had to do that on a e-bike.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that ever. That's stupid.
I had to somehow the cable for the dropper was disconnected when I got it, and so I was like, I'll just, it's 5 minutes before our ride, I'll just connect the dropper back up since it seems to have come off, no problem. And then I went to go do that to go for a ride, and I had to drop the motor. I had to deal with headset cable routing. Then the two spacers around the motor mounts, you have to hold them in. So I couldn't get it back together. I just wanted to throw the bike in the ocean, walk away. I just super glued those mounts to the thing, but so upsetting.
I mean, luckily you're close to the ocean. You could just drag it and just put it right in. Not everybody has that luxury.
I know. Privileged life over here. I can throw my e-waste directly into the ocean.
The fish will build a coral reef around it or whatever. You know how they sink boats? That's what we should just start doing with all the e-bikes. Just throw them into the water for reef building. And
the little fish with the cool lights that hang from their head, they can go recharge in the battery. That'd be good.
Yeah, exactly.
2016 Bike of the Year, Transition Patrol Carbon. That was a good choice.
Yeah, it looks ugly now, but at the time it was good. And same thing, it was pretty light and good geometry.
It doesn't look ugly.
Oh, no, actually, that one looks good. I take it back. No, I thought it was the more swoopy one. That one looks good. That was a nice bike.
The down tube's a little swoopy, but
not some of their other bikes got a little bit too rounded.
But if you straighten that down tube and you launched it today, it would look perfect.
Well, I think they did. If you look at the new Patrol and stuff. But yeah, that was a good bike. I think we all like that one.
Yeah.
Component of the year was Eagle 12 Speed. I think it obviously had to be such a huge, a sea change.
Mm-hmm.
I think on that one.
Yep.
Easy one there. 2017 Bike of the Year, Trek Slash.
Oh, yeah, I like that bike.
This was I think one of the best looking Treks ever.
Yeah, the down tube was a little fragile. I had someone I was shuttling. It was Jill Kittner's mom was driving shuttle, and I had the bike in the back, and the tailgate pad had slipped, and then the bike went in the air and slammed back down on the raw metal of the truck, and then it broke.
Here's your test bike backtrack.
Yeah, I had to warranty it. I guess that's a warranty crash replacement. I felt bad. It wasn't anyone's fault. It was my fault, I guess, but yeah. But it was stiff and modern geometry, big wheel 29er. I think the C-tube angle was pretty slack was the one thing with those ones. I remember mentioning that in the review, I think, because this is right when C-tube angle started getting steeper, but that one was 65 degrees seat angle, I feel like.
Where we didn't have pros and cons at the time. It's so hard to find the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Seat tube.
Classic double down photo shoot, Kaz?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That trail's seen a lot of use over the years.
Yeah, it does.
You defended the seat tube angle, Kaz. In the comments, you said, I didn't have any issues with the seat tube angle, but at 5'11", I'm not the tallest.
Yeah.
There you go. No mention of the slackish seat tube angle in this review, Kaz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't notice. I might not have noticed it. At some point, I have ridden all the slashes for the last like decade, but yeah, I wanted a threaded bottom bracket that had BB92, so I mentioned that.
I'm really struggling to nitpick on these things.
Yeah.
Suspension was MRP ribbon that year. That was an interesting kind of outlier suspension product. What do you think about that in hindsight?
I think I'm the one that pushed for that, and I think it was mostly because it was an outlier, and the fork did work really, really well. Look at that bike, eh?
Yeah, I think that's
down country right
at
there.
Its core. You got mud tires
Maximum
on
down country.
A seat bag,
Seat
two
bags,
water
yeah.
bottles, giant tires, and some big
Well,
brakes.
so, I mean, have they updated the ribbon since, Kaz?
They have a new damper that came out, like an aftermarket damper. I'm not exactly sure what comes in the ribbon now. They've been pretty quiet over there. They're still making things, but
the ones that we had for the Pinkbike Academy, whichever season was presented by or had MRP as a partner, those I remember felt pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's like a pretty basic damper, and the price was pretty good at the time for the. You could get
It's a twin tube damper. It's like a fairly advanced. I mean, that doesn't mean it's advanced, but I want to say I remember thinking that the damping was quite good.
Yeah,
but
I travel adjust, like you don't need other parts for travel adjust, right? I think you can just rotate something on the. You take like the air spring out, I believe. I think
it had some like easy ramp up thing. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, and I liked it because it was different.
Fair enough. Here's a absolute banger.
Yeah,
2017 Innovation of the Year winner.
Oh. Whose fault is this?
This is your fault, Levy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even said what it is yet. This is the nailed React suspension, which should get docked points just for the name because you can't use numbers instead of letters in your suspension.
Yeah, I need you to pronounce it R3 Act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the Snuffleupagus
that bike was magic.
At some things.
Have you noticed the things that Mike Levy describes as magic are all super fucked up?
Yeah, that bike was weird. I think what bothered me, I mean, there were good parts. It was very supple in some places. I don't think it had any compression damping. But they didn't. It was all such a smoke and mirrors game where they were trying to pretend they couldn't give you the kinematics and just did magic things that have never been experienced before. But they just gave it a shit ton of anti-squat from what I remember and just took off the compression and the shock.
They were super secretive about it, and it does have like that one thing is like the link changes lengths, like the Snuffleupagus thing, it slides in and out or whatever. Like there's some neat things going on. I remember, first of all, that is not a bike for me because it was long travel and glued to the ground. But on the other hand, I remember really liking it and thinking it maybe was a bike for me because it pedaled like a 120 millimeter travel bike. It pedaled so well. Having said that, I also loved my Mondraker cross country bike, which like had 400% anti-squat or something like that.
And same with that Trek Slash too, and that's the Rocky Mountain.
Slayer.
Slayer. That's it.
That's
you like that one too?
Yeah,
yeah.
So it really shows like my preferences, what I liked, and like I would never buy this bike, but I do remember being amazed at the combination of it being able to pedal so well, and then when you were not pedaling, just glued to the ground, like endless traction.
So, I mean, I want to defend it. Can't believe I'm defending it, but I want to defend it because it won innovation, an innovation award, not a product award. Like this was not a well-baked product. I'm glad we didn't recommend people buy it, but I think it's interesting and I'm okay with it.
I don't think we've talked about this, or we're going to talk about this probably in a few minutes with another innovation winner. Like to me, it should be something that has some sort of downstream effect. And in hindsight, obviously that suspension just disappeared.
But you don't think, well, sort of, you don't think that it's the understanding we've gained from, as an industry, from experiments with crazy high anti-squat have borne out in other bikes?
Yeah, that's a good point. Right? Yeah, no, that is a good point for sure. But I don't think they sold more than 10 of them. I don't know where they all went, and they were super flexy. They had some weird things going on. Yeah. Innovation to me is something that like changes things, and that maybe didn't, but you did make a good point about the anti-squat. So maybe, yeah.
And I guess when we are picking innovation, we don't know. This is when our crystal balls fail us. We think it might have potential, but then obviously things fizzle out quicker than we think they will.
I should say, I'm surprised that when I went through and pulled all this, I'm surprised that the Trust Fork never won an innovation award. That was where it should have been, because I think it's super innovative. It just wasn't a well-resolved product, ultimately.
They might have just gone out of business too fast to get that reward.
Right. What year did they come out?
All the numbers, I'm bad with years. They all blend together. I'm even more confused what year we're talking about now.
I also think
this is a lot. My brain's gonna be so confused after this.
Yeah, okay, well, we've made it up to 2018, where the Commensal Supreme DH won Bike of the Year. Controversial to have a downhill bike win Bike of the Year.
Yeah, that's kind of like the start of the high pivot resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that all of those Bike of the Year winners, they should be bikes that people buy. And you know, they probably sold 300 or 400 of these things, like realistically, you know, like
they sold a lot of these.
Well, maybe they sold a lot, but they didn't sell a lot compared to trail bikes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Bike of the Year should be more reflective maybe of people in general, like all the riders.
But then we'll just be giving Trail Bike of the Year. There won't be, I think it's nice to recognize something that made a difference.
I'm trying to be inclusive. You know, it should be like a bike that like affects more people.
Yeah, but then we'll just give it to like the Stump Jumper every year from now until it'll be Stump Jumper or Fuel EX for forever.
Nobody would like that. People would just be pissed.
They both won Bike of the Year. So
yeah, I think to me
that was always hard. Those bikes, because they're so fucking good. Like you get a Trek or a Specialized at these field tests, and it's like it's dialed. It's dialed. It's so good, and like you want it to not win, but it's just so good.
You wanted it to not win, Levy?
Yes. Of course I wanted it to not win.
Yeah, because we always know, because we do, like, there's always going to be blowback whenever you pick a Trek or a Specialized or a big brand. Oh, it's all paid for. This is bullshit, blah, blah. But it turns out that these big companies a lot of times can make pretty good bikes because they have some resources. And it'd be a lot harder for a tiny one-man operation to make a bike that we decide is Bike of the Year. It's not impossible, but the bike that was going to be stands out tends to be those ones.
To me, the Bike of the Year should be a bike that has captures it has to work on the performance side, but it also has to capture like the zeitgeist of that year. Like what are the things that are happening? So, I mean, in 2018, like a high pivot downhill bike that was winning a lot I think it's a fine choice. I don't know.
Me too. Yeah. I think it still looks cool too. I like to look at that one.
Yeah. Hayes Dominion A4 was component of the year in 2018. Other good choice.
It's been that long. Yeah.
I know.
Still good.
They are still good. Now we're getting to more interesting, because more recent history is we remember the bikes a bit more. That Norco Optic won Mountain Bike of the Year in 2019.
That's a good bike.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
Still a good bike.
Such a good bike.
Oh, that bike is so good.
Better than the current Optic, I'd say.
It's really, I wish that on the smaller bikes they'd stayed with this layout.
Yeah.
I don't think
Are they using pulleys for everything?
Yeah.
Most everything except for that XC
except
bike.
the revolver. Yeah, except the revolver. So, yeah.
God.
What?
Pulleys are terrible.
The field. So hold on. For Optic, what were the travel numbers on that thing? 125 mil, 65 degree head tube angle, 435 chainstay, 480 reach.
This is a bike of the people.
This is it
for the people.
31 pounds. How does it compare to that revolver, Kaz, in terms of geo, anyways?
It's a degree and a half slacker, 15 mils longer reach, about the same chainstay length. Longer chainstays.
And a bunch heavier.
Well, I mean, in that configuration, we tested a more budget version. But yeah, it's more trail bike, and the revolver is XC bike. Like they wouldn't have to, if they made this bike again right now, they wouldn't have to change the geometry. I don't think. I think that's pretty.
It's a really good bike.
Yeah. Yeah, we rode it all kinds of fun stuff in Pemberton for that field test. It was great.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago. Damn.
6,
I had one as I don't know if I bought that one, or I had one for a year as my own personal bike because I really liked it.
Value Mountain Bike of the Year. We started doing more Value Mountain Bike of the Year stuff in 2019. Gorilla Gravity Trail Pistol. How do we feel about that one?
Did did that win because it was like carbon at aluminum pricing ish or something? Was that the idea?
Yeah,
Yep.
because they're kind of
It
It was
was
made by robots or whatever.
thermoplastics
instead of resins. I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
hold up because the company's out of business, but at the time it seemed novel, I think.
Well, I think
Yeah, and it could do a bunch of different travel and stuff.
that
too,
to me
which
was the
part of
biggest
deal.
was the bigger reason for the value choice, was that you could adapt the bike to do other things. And I don't mean that because everybody thinks they're going to buy these bikes and then turn them into 3 different bikes for the price of one bike. But it's more about like there is value in if you move and your terrain changes or your riding style changes. You're not like a lot of these people are buying a bike for 8 years instead of industry dorks who turn their bikes over every year or two. So I think there's value in the adaptability. The carbon layup robot stuff, I don't know. It was really like, yes, it was carbon at aluminum prices, but it was also aluminum weight and strength at aluminum prices. So I think maybe that doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of promise around it, but didn't quite deliver. And obviously they went out of business too. So
Well, yeah. Oh, funny. They're talking about secret menus on the Trail Pistol back in the day in 2019 when same language today.
Yeah.
Component of the year, Shimano XT in 2019.
Was that the Di2?
No, regular when they refreshed XT.
Are you sure?
Oh, and it just worked.
Oh yeah.
This is the best
version of it.
Yeah, this is such a great era of XT.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm on board with that one. That's a 10 out of 10. Suspension, you guys refused to declare a winner.
Yeah,
that was probably an argument with you, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was a fight.
There's nothing stood out huge that year. It's kind of like an in-between year. There's no major updates.
Mm-hmm. All right, 2020 Bike of the Year, Specialized Stump Jumper Evo.
Ding ding, 100%.
Mike Levy's all about it.
Yeah,
I agree. Hard to disagree. That was a sick bike.
Yeah,
and it, I think, set the tone for a lot. I think if you bought that bike today, you'd be super happy with it still.
Yeah, I mean the Geo is pretty much the same as the new Stump Jumper.
Mm-hmm.
They just changed the design of the frame a little bit,
and just have it not. There's no like Evo doesn't mean different Geo now.
Well, now.
Oh wait, is it back?
The Evo is back. They got rid of the short travel Stump Jumper, and all Stump Jumpers now are Evos.
Oh, okay.
For 2026, they just made them all have 160 forks.
Okay, so there's no Stump Jumper ST.
Right.
Oh.
Well, they never called it ST for 2025. They just had Stump Jumper 15, and now there's just Stump Jumper Evo.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, so
interesting.
It's back.
Value product of the year in 2020 was Dior. I think again a solid choice.
Yep. Good stuff.
Suspension product of the year, the Öhlins.
Yeah, I never rode that. I think Matt rode that, and Dan Robert, someone else rode that.
Yeah.
They said it was really good.
Interesting. Suspension people.
Yeah. Curious. Öhlins they're one of those brands that pops up and goes away sometimes. Feels like it's been a little bit since they made a splash. So see if I know they have things in the works, but see what they come up with next.
I don't have a link for this for some reason. The 2021 mountain bike of the year, there's a contentious one before the podcast, was the Norco Range.
Yeah.
I wish we didn't pick this one as the winner, to be honest. Again, for the same reasons I wish we didn't pick a downhill bike as the winner, but also I think this bike had some issues back in the day.
Levy just doesn't like anything with a pulley.
Pivot, the pulleys. I mean, I do think now there's been a little bit of blowback against high pivot bikes, just like the noise of pulleys, but we're not to the end of the list. We still have more high pivot bikes that do win. But
Kaz, this is a downhill bike. Look at it.
It is. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a downhill bike you can pedal, which is cool. Like it did have the geometry was good. It's definitely early to the high stack game, which I like that. And I think that's one of the reasons it ended up winning. Just the geometry is pretty cool. And it's kind of where we are for enduro bikes or free ride bikes, whatever you want to call them now, like tall stack, relatively long chain stays, lowish BB. It's a good bike.
And a high pivot.
Isn't this the bike that once you did the rear shock bolt up, it became permanently part of the linkage? I don't remember if this is the one or
this one was a downhill bike, right?
They had some issues, like a lot of people had issues with the linkage that they did fix, I think, later on, like the issue's long gone. This is years and years ago.
Well, I think the placement of the linkage too, it's kind of like low. It's a little bit exposed, the way that it articulates.
Wasn't it? Somebody had to like use a hacksaw blade that they took out of a hacksaw to like cut their shock bolt. So I don't know who that was.
The Tom?
Maybe it was Tom. I don't know. Anyways, there were some issues.
There might have been.
Yeah, Matt really liked it. Obviously,
I think.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it goes downhill very well, and it climbs fine-ish, but it is heavy and not the best like pedaling thing.
This one doesn't bother me as a choice for mountain bike of the year. I think this is a sick bike.
I think for the time, it was the bike.
Look at Norco, eh? Like we were just talking about the optic, and then compare that optic to this bike here. Like they couldn't. I know they're different bikes for different things, obviously, but they could not be more different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I really.
But that's why then the next optic came out and they tried to make the optic arranged. So
yeah,
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't. Sort of. They went to the other high pivot, like the mid pivot 4-bar layout instead of this linkage driven one, and I don't know. I get why a lot of brands have gone to that style, but this is better, I think.
At what?
Holding the weight lower and
at riding down the hill.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, sorry, Levy, I'm talking about two different high pivot things, so you don't care either way. You're against it in either direction.
Yeah,
so don't.
They're all bad.
I'm just feeling argumentative right now. I just want to yell.
Yeah. Well, why don't you yell about your value mountain bike of the year, Ibis Ripley, the AF one? I think that was a good call.
Yeah.
They sold a boatload of them. Here we go. Innovation of the year 2021. Contentious. Levy regrets the choice of the LOL Supra Drive.
I do.
Innovation product of the year in 2021.
Yeah,
or innovation of the year.
I rode it. I've ridden it, and it worked pretty well mostly. But again, it's the same thing. Like, when innovation of the year should have some sort of like downstream effect on people, and the only place this shows up is on $18,000 Nikolai's. Like, it doesn't actually exist, and it's so fucking cool. Like, I love the idea. I love the things, of course, in the same way that I love that weird suspension or a linkage fork or whatever. But as far as like innovation that has like matters,
I mean, I think
he's got his own bike company now. He's starting his own company, so he'll be able to buy a bike.
That's great. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's great. But it's not going to have any downstream effect on anything in the drivetrain world.
I mean,
I'm not going to argue against it. I agree with Levy on this one. It has a damper inside the down tube for the clutch that we were talking about, clutch mechanisms before. Like, it's cool, and I love that he's doing it. I'm stoked that he's going to have his own bike company, and if you want it, you can buy a carbon bike from him. And I don't want to ride one of those, but yeah, I don't see SRAM or Shimano being like, we should do this.
No, but I don't think that's what the Innovation Award is about. This isn't product of the year or anything, right? It's a thing that can potentially have downstream effects, even if it isn't this specific product in the future, right? Like, I don't know, man. I think the idea of separating. Sorry, and for the record, Kaz thinks I'm a secret investor in this company. I am not.
I'm convinced that somehow Brian's involved. The amount of times he's hyped this thing up.
I think it's very novel to split the function of a derailleur from into the two halves and move one half, the chain take up part to your crankset. Levy can't like it because it necessitates another pulley no matter what.
Also that.
Yeah. But I just think that is a really novel way to get 90+% of the things people say they want about gearboxes out of a non-gearbox thing.
It might as well be a gearbox.
Well, except that has the efficiency of a normal chain setup.
Except for either pulley.
But you also can't put it on a normal bike.
And
it's
that's
as compatible problem. As a gearbox.
Yeah.
No, and I agree. Like, I think yeah, I'm not an investor, but I do like that Cedric guy, and I commented on his Instagram a while ago. He was asking what people like, what he should do, which direction he should go, and I think that as cool as it is that he's making a bike, I wish he'd gone in a different direction. I wish he'd made an like a retrofit kit for a popular existing, like if he could do a slash kit for his system for bikes that people actually already own, I think that would have been a good way for him to like commercialize the product. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah, it's tricky. But yeah, it is interesting. But yeah, I mean,
I'm
work pretty good now. I don't know.
I'm very happy for that to be an innovation of the year.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Maybe it could still be the future this time. That was only 2021, so he's got time.
Suspension product of the year.
Hey, hold on. Didn't somebody buy something to do with the Supra drivetrain? Like, didn't a bike company?
I think a couple bike companies are exploring putting it on stuff. Or
aside from Nikolai, like real companies. Yeah.
Was it Rocky? The rumor was it was Rocky, but now
Rocky.
Do they still have that? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know what the current status of that is.
It's not good.
They went out of business, so I don't know.
The suspension product of the year was Grip 2. I think again, pretty easy choice.
Yep.
2022, Trek Fuel EX was mountain bike of the year.
Yep. Nice regular bike. Levy's doing things. In the video. Yeah, is it? Yeah. Rode it in Whistler.
Mustard. Old Mustard. Yeah. I bought that bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought that bike afterwards, and I had it I rode it like 3 times. Yeah. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I sold it.
And just went to gravel after that. This is a bike that switched Levy to gravel.
You know, I remember I loved that bike when we were riding in Whistler, and then I rode it a bunch or a few times in Squamish and the Fraser Valley, and I just...
He says a bunch, yeah.
It didn't get the same vibes from it, and I wasn't really super hot to ride it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I had one too. I had one for my staff ride for a year. I liked it. Same thing. I rode it as a mixed wheel, like 140, 160 thing.
Coil. Well. You put a coil on yours?
Maybe a 1 point. It's not really a coil bike. I might have done it just to goof around. I did have a coil on it, yeah, but I think it works better with air.
Yeah,
but it can accommodate coil. It's super adjustable. That was what's nice about it. Make it slacker, steeper, more progressive, less progressive.
Yeah, that was a good everything bike.
Yeah, it's extra regular.
This is definitely Mike Levy's definition of bike of the year for sure.
I would prefer something smaller travel wise, but
I just mean meat of the market kind of.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like it should be representative of a bike that like the majority of people might be interested in or make sense.
I don't want it to be a popularity contest, but it does look. It seems like it was a good bike. I never rode this one.
It was a good bike. Yeah. It was good.
Innovation of the year. The HPR 50 motor from TQ.
This is after my time, I think.
Yeah,
was I here for that?
Yeah, you were still here for this.
Yeah, you probably didn't write about it. You wouldn't have ridden one of those, but that motor is great. And they're
except for the ones that
should some overheating issues.
Yeah,
but the current version doesn't overheat, so they fixed that. But that wasn't. Remember,
I think they might have even retroactively fixed some of the overheating issues.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So.
I didn't have one that overheated, but that is actually a pretty interesting motor concept. The way that harmonic pin something magic. It's a magic motor thing. But if you look it up and look at the diagrams and how that works, it's pretty fascinating. It's cool. And it's light for an e-bike motor, so you can make smaller, lighter e-bikes.
And then product of the year was Conti tires, the downhill tires. I think those that aged pretty well.
Yep, those last long.
I remember those being good. Those are Barons?
No, they did their whole range: the Cryptotol, the Argotol, and the the everything tall, a bunch of drug names.
They are some of the strangest names in mountain bike product. That's a whole other podcast.
Probably sounds better in German.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No.
It's just it's very strange.
Yeah, but those tires they're still good. I mean, it's only been 3 years, but they're still good tires, and I think that pick holds up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 2023. I think for the first time in Pinkbike Award history, there was a back-to-back brand winner of Mountain Bike of the Year. Trek Slash won, but it's a very different bike.
Pulleys. That was contentious because we did have some issues when we tested it. The lower pulley wheel, the spec was off or something, so I think it did drop the chain. But once that was fixed, then it worked well, and it is a very good descending bike.
So it was a bike that had a problem for that like early pilot run or the first run of production. So that's contentious.
Does it have 2 pulley wheels? Do I see 2 pulley wheels?
Yeah, one's like a lower. I mean, yeah, there are 2 pulley wheels.
One's just a lower idler. It's just a guide.
Yeah, yeah. Not your bike, Levy. Not for you, no. But it is a good bike.
Would you give it the same award in hindsight?
I think so. Like, it wasn't a bike that, I mean, Dario really liked this bike, and I feel like Henry did too. And I think everyone really liked it. I kind of medium liked it. I wasn't as enamored as them, but it's still, I enjoyed how it descended. Like, it does a good job.
Well, it feeds into, you gave a e-bike of the year last year, I think somewhat controversially, to the Slash Plus, which had the same suspension platform. Like, something about this layout, the sort of medium high pivot 4-bar layout, you're a fan.
Yeah, and the way that, like, that Slash Plus, when you put the weight, even a little bit more weight lower down, I mean, that's bike's one of the best descending bikes that I've probably ever ridden. So
I was surprised how much you lauded that thing.
You should ride one. It's crazy. It does make sense in my brain, but for a lot of people, they'd probably be surprised how good it descends.
Yeah. Okay, going back to 23, innovation of the year, the Pinion MGU. How do you feel about that?
What is that?
I think that
the
was
motor gear unit.
I think you were pushing for that.
Yeah,
Me?
I would say.
No, not you. I think Brian was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
No.
He was like, I'm out.
I didn't have anything to do with this, everybody.
Yeah, now we're just defending my choices. But yeah, I don't.
No.
I mean, it's innovative, and it does finally address the twist shift issue that's kind of plagued gearboxes in the past, where this one has electronics to help out the shifting, which does speed up the shifting. So I think it's good.
It's also the only way forward for gearboxes, honestly, in mountain biking is with e-bikes and motor gear units, where it's all in one thing. I think it's incredibly innovative. I'm really confused why they haven't been able to deliver to mass market yet. Like, I know a lot of brands want to do MGUs, like MGU bikes. They're it's still pretty rough around the edges, I think, as a product. But again,
sorry, I have a question, Brian. Are these brands locked into the reason for them not going with Opinion? I would imagine is like, if they're speccing their e-bike with SRAM or RockShox suspension, they're going to have to do a SRAM motor or is it anything to do with that?
No, I don't. I mean, I bet people would like it to be that, but no. I know that the big issue with MGUs is that they can't get delivery. There's a lot of brands that want MGU motors and they just can't get them. Lead times are too long. It's just, for whatever reason, I'm sure that there's behind the scenes either issues or they're like can't make enough, or they're focusing on the like commuter markets or something. I don't know, but something seems to be holding that back when there are brands that would like to do it. I think it's a bit heavy as well.
Expensive. It's heavy. You need to have the mounts and everything.
And is there a world where, like, Treks and Specialized and Norcos come with a Pinion motor and gearbox? Like, to me, that sounds...
Yeah, I don't see it. I see it as a SRAM motor gearbox or Shimano motor gearbox.
Yeah.
It'd be more easy to accept if they go that. I mean, but both companies, we've seen patents from them.
But if that happens, then I would still stand by a 2023 Innovation Award for the MGU.
Yeah.
I think that's a fine
call. It could be a thing.
Yep.
If it exists and it works and people can afford it, and
I think the other thing that is, I guess, innovative, I don't know if innovative is the right word about it, but it's sneaky, is that usually you test power for an e-bike after the motor, but before drivetrain. And because the drivetrain is in the motor, now you test it after. So you get power losses through your drivetrain after the power leaves your motor.
It's wheel horsepower versus brake horsepower.
Yeah. So the MGU gets you a little more power in theory. 2024, very, very recent. Bike of the year was the Canyon Spectral.
Yeah, it's great. Good bike. we're going to have it back at the field test this year as the returning contender.
I like
It's another bread and butter. But it, like the suspension on this one, actually, the tune they got for the suspension was impressed us. Like it's just a 140, 150 bike, I think. Is that the configuration we had? But yeah, a Lyric bike worked super well. We rode at Whistler, and it didn't do anything strange, which is great.
Because you had a lot of, I would say, contenders for bread and butter, including the stump jumper last year.
Yeah. And the stump jumper was good, but does use not proprietary shock, but does have the Genie shock, which works well. But again, it was kind of like this bike was just, it almost won because it's so extra regular and the price is good. It is that bike that you could recommend to anybody, and it just works, and you could just continue to have it. I mean, even right now, like I said, we're going to bring it back for the next field test just to compare it against the other ones, but pretty confident it should do well against that crop. Nothing's really changed in a drastic way.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it holds up.
Yeah, hopefully fine. It's been ridden for the last year, so we'll see how it actually holds up. But I have to give it a little refresh. But
all right, yeah. What that one was just like sitting around the office and nobody would take it back.
Yeah, it's been ridden. It's fine.
It's been ridden a decent amount. Okay.
Yeah, it's been one of the photographer's personal test bikes.
Rules.
Yeah.
Okay, and then product of the year. Last year was Schwalbe radial casing tires, and again that was like super controversial when it came out. I think a lot of people, because Vital had just put out a review that they really didn't like those tires when they came out.
Yeah, they were wrong, but I think they just had some air. They didn't change the pressure the right amount or something. I don't know. I bet if you asked the people that did that review now, they would have better feelings about them. There are situations where radial is not the answer. Like if you're smashing bike park laps, I probably wouldn't necessarily recommend radial, but for almost all other situations, especially when it's wet, like wet where you want grip, which is Pacific Northwest a lot of the time, they're amazing. Like it's kind of like right now it's dry and dusty in summertime here. So I'm just on, most of my bikes have regular non-radial tires and I'm not too concerned, but as soon as it starts raining, I'm going to try to get radials on as many bikes as I can, just because it makes a huge difference.
Interesting.
But yeah, good. Definitely.
I thought we'd have more to like shit talk for the second half of this podcast. It's been decent.
Yeah.
Turns out you're not terrible at your jobs.
That's good.
Thank God for Levy on the nailed react though. Goodness.
Yeah.
I think I had the most air balls.
RC like that one too, though. To be fair, we can throw RC under the bus a little bit because he wrote some glowing things about that bike. But
did he?
It was one of those.
Did you write a review on it?
Yeah, or some first rides or something. Yeah, it was just one of those things. Like it seemed different. It did different things, but it just doesn't really hold up.
I want to go and look at what we wrote about it. Words are Richard Cunningham. Okay, but he didn't do like a review. He did a cool thing on the kinematics.
Yeah.
Oh man, look, even the geocharts have wonky curves. What?
Yeah, not a lot of straight lines. Yeah.
Oh man, wild.
That was a neat bike.
It was interesting. I'm glad it.
I'm totally fine with it as innovation of the year, whatever year that was.
Yeah, 2017. That was a while ago. When we just covered like 13 years of mountain bikes pretty quickly. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Now it's almost time for the next version of Pinkbike Awards. We'll get you back on, Levy. You can just pick this year. So
yeah.
Like pick out a hat. All gravel stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come back on, do your gear of the year, and it can be like seat bags and aero socks and bearings for your
top tube bags and things.
Yeah, bento. Levy's bento bag roundup.
I was going to ask you, Levy, have you tried the new Shimano cleats? Do they fix your always blowing your feet out of the pedals with Shimano cleats issue?
I don't know. I've only used time pedals for the last 5 years.
Oh, basically. You're not on the HT like rebuild them every ride program?
No, not anymore. No. Those are sketchy pedals a little bit. They were effective. They worked really well, but I've been using the Times and zero problems. Cleats wear out fast. But other than that, no, they've been great.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I missed that part of the Levy lore that you'd gone over to Times.
They solved a specific problem at the time.
Your
You know,
feet just
and
blowing out.
I didn't want to break my ankles anymore. So it's like, I might as well just lock right in. And the answer is don't dab. It's really motivating on technical climbs, knowing that you will fall over before you can unclip as well.
Yeah, that's my trouble. I have trouble unclipping from time pedals. Like the front of my shoe can hit the crank arm sometimes just because of where I position my cleat and the way that the amount of float required to unclip. They don't work that well for me.
Yeah.
The first pair of clipless pedals I ever had were old time attacks, and therefore they're the best.
Yeah, they can be. Well, now that we've devolved into talking about cleats, I feel like it's time to wrap it up. That was an hour and a half of talking about stuff. If anyone's still listening, thank you for listening. And thanks for joining. And you can still let us know what we were right about, what we were wrong about, what we forgot. There's probably something in there that we forgot. And then, after this, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming, but we'll still get Levy on for some other things. Maybe also let us know what Levy should come on for. Like snack reviews or something. You could be our snack reviewer. Gas station food, Monster Energy.
Yeah, no, I do eat a lot of gas station food.
I know. I would talk about gas station food with you for a while, so we could get that going.
There's definitely been some survival gas station survival runs lately, so we got some pod fodder there for sure.
There we go. We'll save that for the winter time when it's slow.
Yep.
So, well, let's call it there. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you all next time.